Fire or trash, fire or trash. The only thing you can answer to the questions I ask. Fire or trash, fire or trash. The only thing you can answer to the
Hey guys, it's spring. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. So why don't you look your best by rocking your very own Fire Trash t-shirt. Where to get it, you might ask? Go to financialfelons.com and use code DOOM for 15% off. Support your favorite team and look fly doing it. Take a picture in your shirt and send it to us at doomsquad_DSG on Twitter, and we will be sure to shout you out. I'll be looking forward to seeing your swag. Don't forget, use code DOOM at checkout for your 15% off. See you soon and let the good times roll.
Fire or trash, fire or trash. The only thing you can answer to the questions I ask. Fire or trash.
What's shaking, people? It's your boy Doom Killer HD, back with another Marvels Avengers video. Sit back and relax. You are now rocking with the best. And this time around, I got a special guest in the house. A little bit of Mr. Johnny Rawker. What's good with it, people?
What's up, gang? How's it going?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, today, Johnny, I wanted to talk about something in specific. And I, myself, was one of the people who were, I guess you could say, extra hard on, I guess, what was going on with the game. I didn't understand. And after the last weekly wrap-up featuring Stardust, High Ruler, Slipshock, J Shock Blast, and Sadat the Gamer, my DMs blew up, bro. They really blew up. Like, I'm not even joking. It was people I didn't expect to hear from. I'm not gonna put anybody's names out there because that's not my place to do that. But pretty much the DMs were informing me about what's actually happening over there at CD, and not really still pointing any names, but it seems like the devs are being handcuffed by the previous devs' work, if that makes any sense.
Right.
It's like, say me and you are working on a project, right? And we're building something. Oh, you know what? We're making a fresh new guitar, right? From scratch.
Right.
And the way we're making the guitar is for it to be an acoustic guitar. Then we decide to just leave it where it's at. We built everything the way it was for it to be an acoustic guitar. And we get fired. Both of us get fired. Sadat and Lejeune come on, and they're told, this can't be an acoustic guitar anymore. I know you have all of the basses, all of the stringing, no electronics. It's supposed to be an acoustic guitar. But we need you to make this a electric guitar because I need to put an amp on it.
Right.
But they don't have any of the stuff to make it an electric guitar so they can put an amp on it, right? Mm-hmm. They're working with what they can. They're doing what they can do, and they're slowly getting the parts together. They're slowly able to take this guitar string, and fine-tune it to make sure it won't pop because you're not just stringing it now. Now you've got to pick on it, and you're going hard. So they're getting there, but every time they tighten this string, the next string pops because it wasn't made to be tightened. Right. So with that said, I'm going to let you talk for a little bit so I can kind of feed off of what you have to say and maybe help you understand what's going on behind the scenes. So
I've heard a lot of that. I mean, I'm one of the creators that has access to some of the back channels. Mm-hmm. And they've definitely made it clear that they kind of inherited a mess, right? And when it comes to things like unexpected bugs, things like that rearing their head, or moving the game technologically forward, right? Like making major changes to the things. I definitely understand their situation, right? And that's where I've definitely tried to temper my expectations publicly and behind the scenes about, where I think the game can go. Right. I think my issues are there are things that they could do to where the situation they inherited or actions of the other devs have no effect, right? It's policies. It's things that they can do, simply turn this feature on, turn this feature off. like when it comes to time gating, things like that. My thing is being a couple weeks out from, time gate or whatever it is you want to call it. It definitely seems like it's not picking up traction. I saw the Avengers directory the other morning at 25 viewers across Twitch. 25. It's the lowest I've ever seen it. Prime time the other day, it was at 70. Like, it's not just the opinion of one or two creators, if that's the thing. So, like, to me, it's like if things are going that way and you have all these other issues that are going to be harder for you to deal with, why not turn some of them fun switches on, man? Why not just get rid of time gating? Why not turn those drop rates up? You've tried it this way and it's not working. You know what? Like I said before, why don't we have like Banner's Bonanza, to where Dr. Banner hacks the system and now, the Avengers have access to everything, and try it that way for 2 weeks. Try that as an event, see what happens. So like I said, just move all the fun sliders up. And if that brings people back and it creates a game state where people can enjoy it and then be patient and wait for the other things, it's a win-win.
Well, that's kind of where we are with it at DSG. Because, honestly, I have not played since Reset. And it's not because I don't want to play. It's just because the stuff that I want to play, the things that entice me to play the game, aren't working right now, which I wanted to get to 175. I don't, I don't do any cheeses, so I'm gonna get there legitimately. Not saying that the people who cheesed it didn't do it legitimately, because they are playing the content just like I'm playing it. It's just they wanted to play it faster. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't cheese, so at this point, I'm like, okay, what is it going to take for me to play the game? Not saying that I need to play every day, but I do enjoy the game when it works. So we over at DSG was like, you know what? Let's find something in the game that actually works and make it fun to play. Right. Which was The Last Avenger Standing. I'm like, okay, that was broken for so long and it actually works now, but nobody plays it because it was broken for so long. You know what I mean? Right. So let's get that game mode a little bit of attention, which we did with the Avengers Initiative. Fastest time through, get your 500 credits. Y'all, if y'all haven't seen the promo, it's on the Doom Squad Gaming channel. Link will be in the description. But if the community can do something like that, and what the coolest thing about that was I got so many messages yesterday saying, "Wow, this is actually making me want to reinstall a game," and it's something simple as be the fastest time in Last Avenger Standing. You know what I mean? Over 100 and something likes on that, like 70 something retweets, over 50, 60 comments. You know what I mean? And we're just a small community group inside of, a community. You know what I mean? So if we could do that, I'm pretty sure that they can whip up something that will entice people to play the game. You know what I mean?
For me, like you said, it created that much excitement just in a community event around content that has now been made irrelevant by your in-game choices, right? So like basically the devs locked themselves into, the only path forward is OLT and raid, right? Well, that presents an even bigger problem, especially when those game versions have problems, right? So for me, a very simple fix that doesn't require any input from the old team or changing the way the game works at all. Maybe you take the handcuffs off the power level raise and you say, okay, well, we got the data that we wanted on the raid, but now Last Avenger Standing, multiplayer mega hives, all those also will allow you to get to 175, and you use
villain sectors,
villain sectors, all that stuff. Because that's the thing. Exactly. Because that's the thing. Is like we used to have the freedom to get to 140 however we wanted to. Right. And that was one of the things that made the game tremendously fun across the board. Is because if people didn't enjoy this, they could play that. Now you've shoehorned this and you've shoehorned it into a mode that's largely broken for a lot of players. I have people in my community that have never been able to get through one raid. This is how many, 8 weeks along into this. and they've never been able to have a complete experience through the raid. So I think just, taking the cuffs off, let everybody get the power level. And we know Alex loves to fiddle with gear. Like, that's Alex's thing. Maybe just come up with a new set of gear that is only earnable through the raid, not at a higher power level, but has a really, really cool set of perks. And that becomes the incentive to draw the elite players to chase that gear, while
That's
everybody else can.
And Tachyon surges should lie right there.
Right.
Right there.
Or what's going to replace that? That's what we keep hearing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you do that.
Let me explain it. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to cut you off, Johnny, but let me just explain what the damage buff is, if I can, without getting anybody in trouble.
Right.
So right now, the damage buff is doing too much, is what it is. That's why we have the blue shielded enemies. It's to prevent the staggering effects from the damage buff. It's actually doing more than what the damage buff is supposed to do. I won't say exactly what it's doing,
right?
But hence the why we have the blue shielded enemies. And once it's broken down, and I'm sure it'll come out why they're doing it. At least I hope it comes out. You know what I mean?
Right.
It'll make sense, and I get it. And that's why I have literally moved away from the damage buffs on my most powerful characters. Like my characters, like my Thors, my Hulks, and my Hawkeyes, I don't need a damage buff. What Alex actually put in the game, if you can get the right gear, you're way more powerful without a damage buff because you're not waiting on that to proc. They made it harder to proc at this point. It's not like, you just, spam something and it's procking. They made it harder to proc unless you're picking somebody up off the ground. So things like payloads and the hero multiply, the heroic meter multiplier, things like that literally are making your heroes OP. So Alex knows what he's doing. Those leaks are vicious. Once you get your gear set up for those leaks, like you're clearing rooms. Like I can throw the hammer with Thor, hit my right trigger one time, spread a leak, hit everything I need to hit, and literally walk through the room while it's exploding. That's vicious, dude.
My main Iron Man raid build was basically, I don't think I'm running damage buff anymore. I've got a peak, and then I'm doing a lot with the send and receive conduit system. But the thing is, like, it all comes back to communication, right? When you are going to make such a sweeping change as damage buff, it doesn't matter if the greatest thing in the world is coming, right? Without the communication ahead of time, right? I mean, like, there's no communication in the back end. Like, you have this creator's Discord would have been an amazing way to get the word out. No word, and then, like, I get it if you have to make sweeping changes to comic books, that's cool. Let people know, right? Like, you had somebody like our man Lex, dude. Lex lost thousands of power on all his heroes, and you basically invalidated 3 months worth of content that he's basically spent, grinding on that.
That's
to where
what I wanted to chime in on is you gotta reward players for the grind that they went through to get whatever it is you're replacing. You gotta just give them something. You have to like when they removed the comic or nerf the comic books or fix the comic books. I'm not gonna say nerf. They did nerf them, but we're gonna say they fixed the comics books, right? Then at that same point in time, everybody should have got at least one exotic gear with a 100 resilience on it. And whatever other perk, a melee or a precision perk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody should have got that per character. That's what should have happened. Because people like Lex, like you said, he just lost a bunch of defense. I know when that happened, the comments on my video, bro, was ridiculous, Johnny. I kid you not. It was like I had 2,500 armor. Now I have 1,300. I can't get through the raid right now. You know what I
Right.
mean? On top of the
Yeah, I mean,
replays.
I've never. You guys see 100% of my content, right? Anytime I'm playing Avengers, I'm streaming. I've never farmed a comic book. Um, and my Iron Man and my Spider Man are now about 1,000 to 1,100 defense, right? Never from like I said, I never intentionally went and farmed comic books.
Right.
And like I said, even we had a discussion the day of that all that got announced that, and like I said, Lex is the person I know that got hit the worst. And even he admitted right in the middle of being upset. He's like, man, if you just would have told me this ahead of time, right? I could have saved that time, right? I could have been doing other things. I could have been doing that. I didn't, so I just think they need to get over this communication issue, whether it's coming from higher up in the chain or it's something with, like PR with Square, just something that's holding up. They have got to figure out how to get that direct line to the community, right? We need community managers interacting with the community on a regular basis, and not here's a tweet that tells you why we chose this color red for this Thor costume that was inspired from 1974. We don't need that. Right. Because when you go to the comment on those tweets, it's thousands of people asking questions, right? Why not have a dev stream that's not you trying to show us a new thing and just answer questions? A community Q&A, not on Reddit, but live, right? Yeah. Do that live.
They gotta stop being afraid of the community, and the community needs to start listening and stop just demanding. Like, if we listened a little more and they talked a little more, things would be a lot better. But right now, it's literally us yelling the whole time and them not wanting to. I mean, keep it real. If somebody's coming in your face and yelling at you, are you really wanting to talk to them?
Right. But the thing is, you can't blame the actions on it's a small vocal minority that's disrespecting him and saying these types of things. In the meanwhile, you have a very loyal fan base that's just standing there waiting for anything. Right. That's why I said, if you see Reddit is a bastion of aggression about your game, then you don't do it on Reddit. You do a Twitch live stream.
No, I'm not gonna say that. You still gotta do it. You have to do it.
I mean, I agree
as a community to just listen for a little bit. Right. I'm not saying to give these people another chance. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you should have high expectations, and I'm not saying wait around and don't play anything else. Please. Right. Get out there and play other stuff. You don't want to be stuck in one directory. I read your tweet today about being stuck in one directory, and I applaud you. I clowned a little bit, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean that's
me and you know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, and that's just what I'm trying to tell people. Like, I haven't left Avengers. I don't hate Avengers. I don't hate Crystal. I ain't even mad at them. You know what I mean? It's like, I understand there are things going on behind the scenes that we don't know. Right. And I know that it's a very talented group of people over there. I hope that those talented people get to use their great ideas and implement them. But in the meantime, we can't just sit here and scream into the void and just get more mad and more frustrated and more, whatever. There's just a world of video games out there. There's so much fun to have. And then especially as content creators, we get locked into this. You become known for one thing. Right. And that will serve you for so long. But if there ever comes a situation to where that avenue is not possible anymore, you're back at ground zero, So that's why, just me personally, for my brand, my Twitch stream, I made 2022 all about lots of game experiences. Like I said, I will definitely still be including Avengers in that. Just right now, I don't agree with this pigeonholed path to power. So I'm going to focus on some other games right now. And if they reconsider how they're doing things, or the big picture comes out and things make more sense to me, of course I will play the game more. Right.
Well,
but
they've got a lot of trouble ahead. Even if the game gets back on track, which I'm hoping it does. You know what I mean? I still hope that it does. They've got competition now. Lejeune recently stated that this game has gone uncontested for 2 years. You know what I mean? 2 full years of no other AAA superhero game that's multiplayer or live service. So, I mean, Guardians came through. You saw what that did. That did its thing for about a month, though, because it's a single player kind of one and done. I mean, you can run it again to do, get different story missions, but it's pretty much a one and done. Beautiful game. I love the game. But it wasn't an Avengers level threat, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well played.
But they have that now. They have their Thanos is coming. They have their dark sides coming because I mean, Gotham Knights looks great. Yes, we don't know anything about it yet, but just what they put out is scary for Avengers. And then when Suicide drops, man, that game looks I'm really stoked for that game. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And I'm really interested. Like, I don't even do the card role play games, but Midnight Suns, dude, that looks like something I can get into. So
I really feel like in my heart that Midnight Suns is going to be the sleeper Marvel title,
bro,
that nobody saw coming, right? Or people just assume that it's this and they assume that it's that. Because I'm gonna tell you, the Firaxis team don't play. Right, that team puts out award-winning game after award-winning game after award-winning game, and 2K has got the promotional muscle to get that game out beyond any Marvel bias that may be out there. But for Avengers, speaking specifically about Avengers, right now, like I said, you got to turn on the fun switch, right? Like, I get it. You may have had some precursor of, well, if we had time to get to this, loot will work this way. We don't have time for those grand decisions right now. We just don't, right? Like, the community is hemorrhaging at a non-sustainable pace, right? Like I said, if you have your biggest content creators are having to intentionally move into other game directories to sustain their own thing, you're not in a good place. You have the best combat, you have the best IP in the world, right? So what do? Like I said, you turn that fun switch on, man. You turn off the time gates, you push up the loot, power level from anything that you want to do, you remove all soft caps. And here's the thing, if you really want to enhance grindability, make all exotic rolls completely random. Crazy random
for right now,
right?
Just for right now.
Just for right now, and see what that does, right? Because like I said, every time I have a behind the scenes talk with Deb, they say, well, we have to see the data. We have to see the data. Well, the data on what you're doing should tell you right now it ain't working, right? So try this, turn it up to maximum fun, go nuts with it for a month and see what happens, right? If people come back to the game, if your player numbers rebound and you get an interest, then like, this is what was missing from our game, and we need to tailor our future plans to this loot style and this type of game, instead of just, you keep promising if you just follow us and you get down here, it's going to be great. But there might not be anybody left by the time you get there. You know what I mean?
When you said 25 people, bro, that actually hurt my soul, man. That hurt my soul just now. Well, I mean, at this point, like you said, turn on the fun. Go balls to the walls. You know what I mean? Really, like, exotic rain exotics is what you need to do for one. They don't have to be the best exotics, because you know what? People have the gear to level them up if they need to. So
exactly.
You can even put out trash. I ain't gonna say trash, but put out those
sets. Put out, like I said, have it random. Have it random, right? Because if it's falling that fast, then you incentivize me. Well, man, I might put my team together and I might run mega hives 10 times today, because I never know if I'm going to get a god roll.
And leave that mega hive up there. Don't take it away after
exactly.
You get that.
All time gating gone, 100% reward rate, go. And I'm telling you, people would come back for that, right?
Man, I can dig it.
And this needs to be said, because the argument that always comes back, because I'm going to tell you what, I've presented this idea in varied forms directly to the devs in the back channels. And the argument that always comes back, if we give too much loot, it becomes unspecial. And every single time I say, look at Diablo 3 or look at Marvel Heroes. I could run Midtown Patrol and Marvel Heroes for 7 hours straight with legendaries raining down every time I killed a supervillain, and it never became unfun because that was part of the fun of the grind, was sorting through all those exotics and legendaries and finding just the perfect thing for your build. Like I said,
Okay,
what you're doing is not working, so do this, right?
At this point in time, special loot really means nothing because everybody has different builds. You don't want everybody to have the same build. You want people to be able to if they see a Tricks Ridiculous build on his channel and they want that build, they should be able to go and farm it. Definitely.
Exactly.
But at the same time, like, if they want a Johnny Rawker build, they should be able to go and farm that. And y'all two have completely different builds. So loot being special at this point means nothing because everybody has their own taste. You don't want
and things being completely random to where any perk or any stat roll can roll in any gear would promote that, because you might get this oddball piece that you never would have considered running, but it's so good that it opens your imagination up, and you're like, man, I'm going to do a build around this because this is so crazy.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm digging, Johnny. I'm digging.
100%, man.
Well, look, bro. I think we've pretty much covered everything that needed to be covered as far as devs on handcuffs, what could be done as far as fun in the game, just to get people to play the game. Like I said, you don't have to play every day. Do something different as well. But this is a game that I think the community can save if we get a little bit of help from above. You know what I mean? So, is there anything you want to add on to this before we get up out of here, big dog?
Like I said, guys, don't let the current state of Avengers dissuade your fandom, right? If the game's frustrating you, unplug, take a break, check some other stuff out. I still trust in the team, right? I know that there's some really good ideas that are back there in the bullpen that they're dying to get out. So, just be cool, do your thing, and let's see where the adventure goes, right?
Yes, indeed. Well, with all that said, thank you, Mr. Johnny, for coming on and chatting it up with me, helping get this out a little bit. Greatly appreciated. Les bon temps roulé, which means let the good times roll. Peace out, people.